Good morning to all. I am Dr. Papu Kumar Nayak. I will teach you about the second unit of sustainable climate change and development. And this second unit mainly focusing on what is sustainable development, how it is related to climate change and sustainable development goals. That is very much crucial parts nowadays because sustainable development is the main thing that we are utilizing our natural resources, we are polluting our environment. So what happened? This concept sustainable development, we can see what can we see? We can never stop to use our natural resources, or we cannot stop pollution day by day. So whatever the natural resources we have, that are used wisely, so that our next generation they can also sustainably, that means they have also do not shortfall the natural resources. So this is the idea concept of sustainable development. So let's start in details about sustainable development. This concept sustainable development was start in 1987 by the Brundtland report or Brundtland Commission, which has been mostly give the idea. So, what is the development? What is the sustainable development meaning, and what is the definition? Actually, Harlem Brundtland, who is the chairperson of this Brundtland Commission, that is held in 1987, and the sustainable development is that type of thing that can meet the need of future generation, present, without compromising the ability of future generation. That means we are also have to live, and we have sufficiently leave some resources and clean environment to our future generation, so they cannot suffer, may not suffer. So what is in summary? It is the development that needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. That means we do not compromise anything to our future generation. So this sustainable development is a principle. That is a very good idea that is very much helpful to human beings to sustain in future. That but it having specific goal. See, whatever the goals, there are many goals are there. So examples, depletion of wisely utilization of natural resources, and to maintain the cleanliness of the environment. So this sustainable development 1987, it is the first concept by seeing the utilization of natural resources. This concept was developed by Brundtland report. The chairperson is Harlem Brundtland.
What is sustainability? One of the more common definitions of sustainability used worldwide is from the UN Brundtland Commission. They say sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So put simply, sustainability is about our kids and our grandkids. How do we live today so that they can thrive and future generations can also have a good life? Our planet has many resources that we depend on for food, for housing, and many of those resources can replenish. You can cut down a tree and grow new trees. You can catch fish and there will be more fish. But that only works if you do it at a rate that these systems can replenish. We call that the replacement rate. You could think of it as a bathtub, and you're draining the bathtub and filling the bathtub at the same rate. And if you do that, then the level of the water should be able to stay stable. We call that equilibrium. It's not that you're not using any resources, you are, but you're doing it at a rate that the systems are able to stay somewhat steady. Right now, and over the past few decades, what we're seeing is that we are consuming resources much faster than the replacement rate. And the result of that, draining the bathtub faster than filling it, is that those levels are going down. We're seeing fisheries disappearing and other ocean life. We're seeing forests disappearing. Of course, everyone is familiar with the impacts of climate change and, other impacts of this level of consumption, plastics in the ocean, all of these problems. So ultimately, sustainability is about understanding how all of this is connected, understanding that when you make a decision to buy a smartphone, you are impacting someone's life on the other side of the planet who's involved in mining the materials to put in that smartphone. So sustainability is about systems thinking. One of the other big frameworks that we use to talk about sustainability is the 3 E's. In business, we call that the triple bottom line. Some people call it the 3 legs of the stool. And that's environment, economy, and equity. And it's not just about understanding that we need to manage all of those. It's understanding how they're connected. So if you only look at short-term economic profit, then you're not going to end up with a thriving economy in the long term. If you're only looking at conserving the environment without thinking about economics and understanding, how people are making their livelihood, you also may not end up with a thriving society. And if you aren't looking at equity, you're going to end up with a few people that have most of the resources and many people who are hungry and not living a good life. And that's not really a successful human society either. So sustainability is really about addressing all of those and understanding the connections between them.
So, sustainable development mainly focuses on these 3 things. What are the things? Economy, society, and environment. All 3 things are commonly consisting of the total sustainability of a particular society and particular system that having running out. That means if any one thing may shortfall, then another is severely impacted. For example, environment. If you are using our environment in a very bad manner and we are polluting our environment day by day, so obviously environment is affected to society. How? Because society, the people are living, they are severely affected by the bad environment. And when they are affected by environment, then obviously they are going to hospitals to check and to do for curing themselves, and they are not going to the job, so their economy also may down. So obviously these are interrelated things. One get may hamper, then the next thing is also hamper. Okay, so sustainable development is the main thing that can be idea is first in 1987 by the World Commission of Environment Development, and that is also called a Brundtland report. And according to them, the idea that means need of this generation without compromising the other generations. So the society and environment, economy, all three are interrelated things, and all three consisting of are called as word environment. Our first thing comes to my mind is called forest or tree plantation. Whenever we planting tree or environment is some unknown person, any person, whenever you are asking about environment, they are just telling that environment is our forest and tree and wildlife. So this sustainable development is first major concern important factors environment, and this idea is mainly concerned with the forest management or planting a new tree, because this resource or restore to our environment. And this is idea to have been spread among the communities, because this is very much important factors for our future generation. So the awareness of the sustainable development must be done by the people and through the school children or through the college students. So there are we are using so much things in day to day lives, but we are just neglecting these things. For example, let's say when you are use water, a potable water, what happen? We are just open the tap and running out the water and unnecessary. This is one example of negligence. By knowing or unknowingly, we are utilize our resources in a waste way. Means we are wasting our resources. So that's why in 20 years earlier or 50 years earlier, no one think about that water can be a, available in bottle and we are just going to buy it. So in next 50 years, then there may be a chance to there is the availability of oxygen in a bottles, and without that we are buying, we cannot survive, and we have to pay for the oxygen. See, the water, oxygen, land, these are the key resources that is provided by the natural things or earth by earth mother. So we have to use the resources in a wise way that can be uh, sustained, that can be utilized more day by day, because earth is a natural engineer. She can heal herself. Whenever we are using or polluting something, what happens, it actually heals themselves by its own factor. So this is very much important thing we can maintain. So since the positive rate and exploration of the existence, that means exhaustion of the natural resources takes place, and the resources we are utilizing, they are never fulfilled when we are utilizing, because it takes long time to fulfill the thing. So our duty is to utilize the resources in a very good way, natural way. So there is a debate that maybe arises due to the society and the managers who can manage these things, all these things, who manage the society and who manage the natural things. So what is the debate? The debate is that how and where to utilize the resources wisely. So all countries who are the member of this sustainable development goals, that are the sign some things that we are the promising we can utilize our resources, and in a such a way that our future generation also need the uh, do not feel uh, or adjust in the natural resources. So there are different requirements of there, and what are the requirements? The requirements, this examples, capacity for measuring the process, and how you are utilizing the humans are utilizing the natural resources, like that. Let's see some documentaries. You can be clear on your mind how, what is the natural resources and what is the sustainable development, all these things documentary.
There is a lot of talk about sustainable development, but many probably do not have a clear idea about what it really means. In this video, we will illustrate what sustainability is and what the determinants of sustainable development are. We will also explain why development that is not sustainable is not development at all, and why, after a period of apparent growth, unsustainable development generates even more poverty and social disorder. Let's take a step back and ask ourselves, what do we mean by development? By development, we mean the process by which an entity in potentiality becomes an entity in actuality. In other words, that which was only a possibility comes into being. For instance, a seed is only a mere seed, but inside it there's a tree in potency, waiting to grow. If the seed sprouts, it becomes a little plant, and then it grows to finally become a tree. The development of the seed brings forth a tree. In order to become a tree, the seed requires suitable conditions, like the right space, sufficient water, nutrition, etc., and not too many competitors and predators. If the variety of trees is diverse and the conditions are good, a thick forest could grow. To guarantee the development of a complex system such as a forest, diverse inputs are required. Besides trees, we also need the bees, the worms, mushrooms, ants, squirrels. All in all, we need all those factors and actors that permit the sustenance of an equilibrium of that complex ecosystem that we call a forest. A similar complex equilibrium sustains the prosperity of human societies. Development is the process by which a community actualizes its potentiality and improves its economy, its culture, its political processes. And for such a development to take place, we need a plurality of synergic diversities. We need women and we need men. We need different generations, different professions, diverse hierarchies, different priorities, different arts, each one concurring with the others in a relationship of reciprocal valorization and empowerment. A solidarity that generates a collective sense of being a single community, and that makes it possible for the different actors to perform on a common stage while expressing different beings. Development is often associated with growth. A growing economy is one that produces ever more goods, more services, generating more security and ever more satisfied people. Until recently, we believed that the economy could grow forever. We thought that by using technologies that made the production of goods more efficient, and by applying rules and regulations that promoted the growth of markets, our economies could grow richer and richer indefinitely. And that communities could circulate even more money, own more houses, store more food, own more cars, and have more enjoyment, and be ever more satisfied. Always improving and forever. But in reality, as we progressed, we discovered that growth was not necessarily something good. Having more does not necessarily mean living a better life. In fact, we discovered that economic growth, when not balanced by a simultaneous cultural and social growth, leads to ever more competition and reciprocal hostility. Everyone tries to grab ever more material goods, not because they enjoy them, but because they need them to match the growing rivalry with neighbors. By progressing like this, we have depleted the world. We caught too many fish, and now lakes are empty. We use too much water, and now we are thirsty. We cut too many trees, and now our forests are destroyed. We ate too much food, and now we have become obese and sick. We put too many pesticides and chemicals in our soil, and now it has become sterile. We produced too many cars, and now we can't drive them anymore because there's too much traffic. While the city air has become polluted and poisonous. We constructed too many buildings, so we don't have common spaces anymore where we can meet, walk, play, talk, or plant trees and flowers. We were polluting the world, but our economies were still growing. But that has also changed. Economic development has started slowing down and is continuing to slow down more and more, and even shrink, in spite of employing ever more efficient and advanced technologies. Why is the economy not growing like before, even if we have better tools and better laws supporting and favoring markets and the growth of markets? Why? What happened? We discovered that economic development has been exploiting resources at a much higher rate than the rate of regeneration of these resources. So we ended up destroying the very resources that the economy uses in order to sustain itself. And we have learned that the economic growth that does not protect resources is not sustainable. Hence, it is not real development. What do we do now? It's important to make sure that development always remains within the limits of sustainability. That is, the rate of consumption of resources, natural and human, is always kept slower than the rate of regeneration of these resources. If we want to use more resources, we must invest more in resource regeneration, and this would make development sustainable. To design and implement policies for sustainable development, it is necessary that well-informed citizens can make informed choices in their personal and collective consumption patterns by prioritizing consumptions that have the least impact on environment. And that informed citizens can make responsible social choices by sustaining persons who are better capable of promoting environmentally and culturally responsible policies. In order to contribute to informing people about these choices, we have designed this small video. If you liked the video, remember to give it a like. And if you have found it useful, do share it with others who may also find it interesting and useful. Thank you.
Okay, so have you an idea about what is sustainability and sustainable development? So then move to the exposure to sustainable development. So how the countries and the people who are unknown about the term sustainable development. So some it must be known by the people and explore or exposure to sustainable development. So two most important economic activity. What are they? That is production and consumption. Because all we are the thing production and consumer. We are all consumers. We are consume something. What are we consume? We consume different products. For the product, the need of production is most important. For if the production is more and the consumption is less, that is demand is less, that means it has a low value. And if the consumption is high and production is low, then its demand is high. So at that time it will be more, price is more. So these two words, production and consumption, this is strongly related to the sustainable. So for production processes and consumption processes, actually production is starting from input, and the what is the input in a plants or in a things for produce, there are different factors are needed for any production processes. What are the production processes? What are the factors? The land, water, capital, labor, and the form organization. So these are the various inputs which requires large amounts of environmental things, a large amount of natural resources or different resources to product to a something new things that is good for production processes. Then what is the consumption processes? Whenever the product is finally produced, then what happens? We are going to buy the product and we are utilizing. That's the output of the product. And after product, it is the services and the goods and services that is related to the final product. If the product is very good, we are going to buy it. If the product is not good, then we cannot buy it. So irrespective of our consumption, the product is formed, so many things are utilized. Environmental factors are there, natural resources are utilized, and if the product is not utilized, then all the things that utilize the resources are going to require. That means there's no use at all. We are making something resources and but we are not utilizing. Or due to the high demand, we are making so many products and processes. So in between, we are the life of the product, that is the uses. How you can utilize it. If the same product, one it is utilized for 10 days, if the same product someone plays for 10 years. So that is the difference. How it is the uses, how it is used, that is uses and conversion. Because all the things are related to the natural resources utilizations. So in order to contribute or in order to contribute to sustainable development, we must see these things from the end, beginning process to the end of the process. So let's see what is then we are mostly uses the word environment and the natural resources. So environment is actually a complex term that is really mix of all the things, that is physical, chemical, biotic factor, all of these things, physical things, chemical things, biotic factors, or the biotic factors such as climate, soil, living plants, animals, bacteria, viruses, all these, and open an organism or ecological community, and ultimately determine the survival. That means for a survival of any organism, whatever things may be needed, that are all comes under environment. And all natural resources like air, water, soil, these are also very much crucial factors. Actually, natural resource environment is not just our surrounding. In common word, we are saying that what is your environment? That means we are saying that our surrounding environment. But no, environment is everything that may be needed to survival of the organism. From its birth to its death, it uses anything for the survival thing that consists of the environment. And whatever the other things that are very much going to impact the organism survival, this is also a part of the environment. So environment is a complex word actually, not a single. So in simple environment, how it is tell, we need everything from our surrounding. It is our environment. What are we need? Air, water, land, all natural resources, flora, fauna, humans, and their interaction. Obviously, these are the natural resources we are utilizing every minute. Every without air, without water, we cannot even live 1 minute or 2 minutes. So this is the natural resources. Whatever from our death to birth, whatever things are utilized, whatever things we are interacting, our surrounding, or this all comes under the environment. So as something is utilized from our death, birth to death, that means for a long period of time, obviously the natural resources can be depleted. But some resources are renewable and some resources are non-renewable. For example, water and air. These resources are plentiful, plenty as such as no depletion takes place. But according to this, by this anthropogenic activity or by our bad work, or we are just utilizes, that is okay, but we are making it pollute that we cannot utilize anyone further. Your utilization is okay, but when you are pollute the thing, so you cannot utilize by anyone other. That is a very bad. And knowingly or unknowingly, we are also depleting or this polluting our environment day by day. That's what different things are going on nowadays. And the second thing is interaction between these humans and all plants, animals, all organisms. This also comes in our environment. So all reward or thing related to environment, the indirectly comes to sustainable development. See, natural resources is the important part. So before understand this environment, true sense and rarely given attention is the linkage of this component to is our production and consumption. See, everywhere the production of any product up to its consumption through the life cycle, everywhere we are utilize the natural resources or environment for our usefulness. So this is the main thing. The natural resources and environment are indirectly related to the production and consumption processes. And this sustainable development is the actually terminology if you are wisely using the product, because for the cost of our environment we are utilizing something. Actually money is not the matter, because water is not free, water is free, air is free, but when you are not giving or not providing pure form of water and air, so even rich and poor all are having suffering from it. It cannot see he is rich, he is poor, or he is rich, he is poor, because this is same for all human beings, all organisms. So this production process or making some product, what happened? The natural resources is the important thing, which can be the crucial factor for making a product or for any production process. That is the beginning part of the system development. And next output, that is called product development, and services, that is called externality. So there are factors that affects after production process, that are externality. So some things and some persons are not in your hand. What is in your hand, you can just control it, but some factors are not controlled by us, like different things like natural hazards are there, tsunamis, floods, drought, you cannot control it, but directly indirectly you are responsible for it, because we are polluting our environment and utilizing resources in an unwise manner or in a haphazardly. So this utilization and conversation, that is in our hand, and that may be controlled by us, because natural resources are fixed. Whatever may the earth in natural resources, it is fixed. loss of conservation of energy says whatever may be the energy or whatever may be the resources that is constant in earth, because no one can energy cannot be finished, because it only changes one form to another form to be constant. So natural resources are constant, whatever the land or whatever the resources present, that is constant. And if the product is formed, then we cannot, in our hand some externalities are there. So in our hand, what is this thing? To utilize some processes. How we can utilize it? What are externality? It is the cost and benefit of the economic activity experienced by unrelated third party. That means if the product is formed, then whatever the total price, that actually depends on the formation of the product up to the final product, that's the externality. And there are different things that are indirectly come into the existence for this cost of the product. There are two types of externalities are there: a transfer and a benefits, and negative is the transfer of cost. If something is manufactured here and go for America, sell here, sell there, what happens? The cost of transportation is just included. And for this transportation, what happens? Large amounts of natural resources are used, like petroleum, fuel, gas is used and burned to make pollutions. What is the cost? Because all the environmental pollution is the main cost. Money is not a factor here, because environmental health and the money, it cannot be related. If you have wealthy person, then you cannot buy or you cannot get free healthy air from atmosphere. Obviously, they can utilize some, they can buy some air purifier, all the things, but it is not a permanent solution. Our earth, Mother Earth, is the total home, and that is, it provides all the three things, and it is our duty to maintain its naturality and maintain its purity. So these are the cost, unnecessary cost, traveling cost, or that is negative externality. If something is manufactured here and sell in America, so the transportation cost is unnecessary cost. If the same thing can be manufactured by them or at the local thing, then the cost of transportation and the cost of this unnecessary fuel burning, that can be stopped. So this may be protect our environment. So whatever things that in our control, that we have to do. So till the realization of the diminishing environment, that means if a production consumption process in between, we are utilizing natural resources. So these natural resources, whatever may be the thing, that is related to environment. So when we are realizing that we are utilizing in the cost of environment, and for something we are never attention to the negative externality. That means we are need the things any cost. But nowadays the negative externality like transportation cost, like one example, so it also increases the price and also decreases the environmental quality. So in these things we can control. So we never acknowledge the cost of economic activity forced upon unrelated third party. So we are also not aware of that, but we are nowadays we have to think what can be made, that can be done. So things are very much important for sustainable development. The exercise and traditional uses of resources and are also having affected by the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? The total system that consists of both biotic and abiotic part of a particular area or particular system, like grass ecosystem, pond ecosystem. Then these are also severely affected by these processes or uncontrolled utilization. So ultimately, if the path of the equalities among the communities and countries, that also hampers. So sustainable, nowadays we are focusing on sustainability and sustainability. All things are like same way, but the word sustainability comes first. So our priority to give hand to the word sustainability. That means sustainability. That means it is environmental friendly and running for a long time. Both are the equal. We are giving equal chance. Here are some glaring facts that are: nature provides services That is 125 US dollar trillion of the year supports approximately 70% of the world's work and livelihoods. See, these figures are actually exaggerated because we cannot compare the natural resources or natural services with any kind of monetary things, because whenever we making comparing we cannot think about sustainability. So the value of ecosystem services lost 95 to 11 4 to 20 trillion. Just we are for our sake of database we are just making the things. Losses due to pollution is 4.6 trillion. See, and 29% of land degraded is 3.2 billion. 700 extreme events costing coastal area costing 127 billions per annum. So 125 trillion is a support, and see the losses. So there are so many losses as compared to support. So in general, positive thing is getting less and negative thing is getting more. So in sustainable development focuses on positive things that can be help to retain the environment system as well as natural resources running out for a long time. Hence here the sustainable development comes how to protect these things. We already said that development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their need. Let if the 50 years day after 50 years, what happened? There is water quality, air quality, water quality is so much poor that we cannot survive. So what happened? We are not being there, but our future generation, our son and their sons are there. So the human race may be there, and it is they are suffering so much because our responsibility due to our negligence. So our duty is to provide pure things, provide a good environment and a good natural resources to our future mind or comes in our force, like and sustainable cities, sustainable societies. These are meet all the needs of this sustainability, the criteria that are sustainability. So it provides minimum environmental impact and maximum things that we are needing. So for that, there is a need of planning and management. Or we also may call it a eco. The term eco is mainly adding before the term the eco place, eco city, eco friendly. That these are the important things. We are the small steps towards sustainable development. And also for that, the environmental management system also play a most important role, because without the management, no one can bother. So management also has to play important role. So natural environment and it utilization, that is the crucial part. So sustainability situation whenever occur, then the natural capital is used in a wiser way, irrespective of this utilization sources. Sustainability requires mostly human activity that are support of the environment and nature, that we cannot degrade the nature haphazard. So important operational principle of sustainable development that are also documented in something somewhere, because we have to keep maintain record what are the things we are present and what are the things that are present in 50 years before and what may be the things present after 50 years after. So to keep a record, we have to maintain the sustainability development in our office. So environmental problem are also directly indirectly related to the human activity and hamper sustainable development. Okay. So after the industrial revolutions, that is in early 1960, the environment is so healthy, because after the industrial revolutions we are making our environment so much polluted that the environmental conditions is very much degraded. So sustainable development is very much necessary. So bringing all these things together, we already discussed that the environmental things is mainly consisting of these four parts. What is three main parts? Three parts are environment, society, and economic. But the fourth part is the human, because human or anthropogenic activity, we are depleted our resources. So human intervention is the most important thing, and the solution of these things also have to responsible for by the humanity, because we are the main cause for depletion. So we are also main cause of sustainability. So our duty is to make all these things, balance all these things, that is environment, sociality, social and economics, to maintain a sustainable development. Actually, to maintain a sustainable will not so easy, because we are never be compromise our development, and because some things we are cannot stop it or reduce the process. So maintain all these things, it is very much necessary to make a balance of all these things. So global population as in nowadays by day increases. So what's happened? The consumption production process also increases. So if having let's say one example, it's having a rich person having 10 cars at his home, and for one car he utilizes for traveling one man. For same thing, we can utilize as a public transport instead of a personal car, and make save some fuel and save natural resources indirectly to contribute to the sustainable development. So it is the very important, and small awareness is also needed. Not only with just telling a sustainable development, we have to give awareness sustainable development to the people who are the main crucial parts of the things. So this way we are thinking about sustainability and sustainable development, and this sustainable development also directly related to our and all those things. So actually, come to the word sustainable development goals. What is sustainable development goals? That is in 2030 we are making some agenda, or by the United Nations, they are fulfilled the nation, that is in 2015 some international members make a community and having some goals for the sustainability for sustainable development, that is for our future. So these goals or this blueprint they have prepared is called sustainable development goals. And this is not for the now, only now, but it is also maybe for future, because our future generation we have to give something that is very much necessary for them. We cannot just endlessly leave them. So this called sustainable development goals. And these sustainable development goals are adopted by the United Nations member states. United Nations, there are 197 members are there, countries are there. So all members have to adopt. They have to adopt and agree with these all sustainable development goals. To whatever why they are agreed? Because all are the human, and we are protecting our natural resources, or our mother earth, to in a controlled way, and not in a budget way we are finishing it. So this is a universal call to all the nations of the country, earth, that to end the poverty, protect the planet. Means poverty means some means whatever it is, the equality, and poverty means equality. Either rich or poor, all should have clean air, clean water, have good appropriate food. So this is called reduce the poverty, ending the poverty, and protect the planet. How you protect the planet? Protecting planet, that means you have to sort of care about environment. You have to care about environment and use your natural resources in a wisely manner. And by 2030, the target we have to fulfill all. So people enjoying peace and prosperity. So that all people should. So not conflicts are there. Nowadays you have seen so many wars are going on, the Gaza and Israel, Russia, Ukraine, all the things are there. So actually greediness is the main thing that can be affect our emotions and affect our natural resources and mother earth. So greedy is not so much. So why it is very much crucial to maintain peace and prosperity? Because if all are having equal and all are having peace, so our nature is also restored. So at this, there are 17 goals are there, which is urgently call for actions for the all countries. That means the all countries of the United Nations members they have to uh, work on these 17 goals. So in next class we will be discuss about details in details of the 17 goals. And for this develop and developing country, actually the developed country are the countries who are already developed and the energy consumption of this country are so much. We are developing country and there are some countries also on the developed country. So they do not utilizing natural resources for so many things. So in a global partnership, we have to maintain this property by maintaining these 17 goals. So they recognizing that ending poverty and the deprivation must go in hand, and the strategy of the improved health and education, reduce inequality, spur economic growth, and all tackling climate change and working to protect our forest, obviously to protect our nature earth. So this is the very most important for protecting the nature earth. To maintain the sustainability practice, that is very much crucial. Sustainable practice means utilize some natural resources in a good and wisely manner without compromising our present and future needs. Because due to environmental degradation and are mainly due to by the exploitation of natural resources and pollution by the human activity. So we are the main factors that we have to manage. So these are the goals. There are 17 goals are there, which is given by the United Nations. So the division for the Sustainable Development Goals that are the by the United Nations Department Economic and Social Affairs act as the Secretariat for the Sustainable Development Goals, because they have to maintain all these records and maintain all these things whether the country is implementing or not. It is regulated by this. It is regulated by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. So, one Department of Economic and Social Affairs is the responsible for the maintaining all this. Actually, the goals are implementing or not. They have the monitoring or auditing process for it. The secretaries of the sustainable development goals providing the support and capacity building of the goals. Thus, to work out and the goals, actually very much nothing in need of funds and needs awareness, need of spreading all ideas. So these things, these are provided by these secretaries of sustainable development goals, United Nations. And the capacity building, the goals are related to thematic uses, issues including water, energy, climate, ocean, urbanization, transport, science and technology. These are the various issues that's having different countries. For like India, we are depending on whole India is depending on the natural resources, and the natural resources mainly non-renewable resources, that is petroleum and fuel. Because we have do not have sufficient amount of capacity of storage of that natural resources. So we are depending for it the Western countries like Gulf country where we can import some petroleum or gases for our energy need, demand of the energy need. Somehow demand of the grain or agriculture food, we are providing them. So we are exporting something, exporting something. So all countries are interdependent, and due to this, sustainable development goals are also applicable to all. The Global Sustainable Development Report also partnership of small island developing states, developing players renewable role, even provide the relating social capital to 30 the agenda to complete the unit all these activities that is related to sustainable development to cure that. If you are not aware what is the thing or what is the disease and how we can cure. So for that we are first thing is making a suitable awareness program for the sustainable development. So, sustainable development goals can be achieved by this Millennium Development Goal and sustainable development practices, and it can be mostly by restrict some utilizations of the human activity, that is uncontrolled deforestation, uncontrolled utilization of industrial resources. So technical development also be very much important for the sustainable development goals, achieving sustainable development goals. So the rate of consumption should not more than the rate of utilization. Obviously, if you are utilizing more, then if you are uh, production consumption is more, then what mean the how we can be maintain the sustainability. So for renewable resources, the rate of consumption also should not be surplus than the utilization. But non because the non renewable resources are also you are utilizing, but you are utilizing not in a proper way, then just we are wasting the thing. We are wasting our money and wasting our environmental and degrade our environment. So this is very important. All types of pollution should be minimized. We cannot stop also utilization and stop also pollution because uh, development is also very much necessary. So what can we do? We just minimize the thing. So this is a transition period from sustainable MDG to SDG that 2000 to 2015 the Millennium Development Goals are comes into force. Then there are 8 goals are there in MDG, and target is 2021 targets are sorry, there are 21 targets are there that should be achieved in 2015, and indicators, that means 16 indicators, which are the indicators we can be monitor or audit, indicating that our goals should be achieved or not. There are 60 indicators are there. So in sustainable development goals, that is start from 2016 and ending in 2030, it is universal because only developing country are polluted, not like that. Developing country and underdeveloped country and developed country, all are also applicable these rules. And this is having 17 goals and 169 targets. That means we have to achieve these things like that. So 231's uh, indicators are there by which we can monitor that we are progressing in the right way. And 308, that is 380 India. So India is a developing country, so we should focus the stable development. These 5 things: the people, planet, prosperity, and peace. So this is the thing. Then what are the different issues, environmental issues that are also presently needed for the environmental concerns to make sustainable development? So the issues, what are the issues? Issues are climate change, global warming, all these things. Ozone layer depletion. So these are the different issues that arise due to uncontrolled utilization of natural resources and this thing. The sustainable development goals, 17 goals are also there, and this is called SDGs architectures, and the reflects global ambition, and the targets is 169, reflects the action points, indicators are 7. That means actually these numbers are varies because some different countries having different numbers of targets and indicators. So this is crucial thing. So what is the linkage between environment and SDG? So SDG environment are very much related. SDG are direct environmental focuses on water, clean energy, climate, ocean, land, biodiversity, all these things. These are very much crucial parts for sustainable development. Other goals also included physical environment, natural disaster, sustainable development goals 1 to 17. Actually, we are going in details. Human health, economic growth and employment, industry, cities. So sustainable development are very much in Indian context. Actually, when I see, we also a member of this UN nations, and we have to also have to the sustainability in 2030. Our target is 2030. So Niti Aayog has also released in November 2018 remember that 7 year strategy or documentation of the strategy of New India 75. That means it is a part. Different parts are different sectors are there, or we are implementing some things that are contribute to sustainable development and so maintaining the sustainable development goal. There are 41 areas where recognize the progress already made and challenges that to remain. That means equality, all the things, making all equal, making environment clean. Not we are because necessarily we are focusing on development as well as environment. So resources utilizations. So this is a difficult task for maintaining sustainability while maintaining all these things. So Niti Aayog in 2018 also mapped the critically sponsored themes and central sectors themes to indicate the overall responsibility of the sustainable. So these are the stakeholders of sustainable development. This Niti Aayog, Ministry of Statistics, Implementation, Ministry of External Affairs, Finance Ministry, Ministry of Environment and Forest. Actually, all these are mainly responsible or making some contribute to us making our sustainability or sustainable development. Ministry of Personality Raj, Ministry of Housing Urban Affairs, other ministries, state governors, civil society organizations who are directly or indirectly actually related to the things that are mainly consisting of these parts of our different prepare ICED, that is documents that we needed prepare to the International Center for Environment and Audit Sustainable Development. That means it work is to just audit whatever the things we are making the goals we are progressing or not. So these are the main work. So Niti Aayog also made centralist scheme, different scheme, and by the agenda 2030, so linking the actual budget in conjunction to NSG document. That means there is a need of fund and need of monitor actually what are the goals and we are implementing that is or not and what is the progress. So allocation of budget also important because budget is important part to carry out in actual field the work is very much necessary. And the mapping based on mapping for programs of intervention done by the Niti Aayog. And trends are associated including similar information in last 2 years. In last 2 years we are just going to a rising trend to capture all the things to maintain the sustainable development or contribute towards sustainability things. So sustainability development is the common practices of all, not the responsible for a single country or not responsible for a single individual. We should have make a team like, or we should must have focus on the all the things. So our duty is to make the earth sustainable. So this is very much collectively and use a real changes that need to be done being a real changes to make the sustainability for the future generation. So for that there are different rules and regulations are there. Government will also make some rules about the sustainable development, keep the things in control. Uh, it also because it is focused towards the future generation. So sustainability and sustainable development is all about, and this sustainable development is the very much important and crucial part for the year. So sustainability is greatly supported by the all countries nowadays, and that whatever they may be the UN member or not, but the concepts and the sustainable development goals that be provided by the UN countries that are mainly United Nations things. So there is a different trends nowadays. Sustainable developments are there. It is going to be increased day by day. The sustainability and people are so awareing what is sustainable development, what is sustainability. Then obviously the result will be also good. So sustainability actually this word sustainable development comes from sustainability. That is sustain thing to preserve all the things, natural resources towards our future generation. So it is not so easy achieve the goals of the sustainable development, because all cooperations of the all countries, the legal aspects, and all, not the least, but all individuals, all should have the sustainability or also have sustainable development goals. Means participate in this making the nature sustainable. So sustainability and sustainable development goals is very much related to all sectors, all the things. In climate changes, obviously, all natural resources affects all the humans. Sustainable developments. Next, sustainable more about sustainable development and other sustainable development goals and all the things. So thank you very much for listening, and please go through the slides and read it is very carefully.